Well, great to be back on Saber Media Sports Extra on YouTube. And like I always do, it's always ready to serve you the best of sport and content. Ghana Premier League match week 21 at the Kpando Stadium. It's Heart of Lions versus Kumasi Asante Kotoko. And we are in to have a conversation on that game. Matches between Heart of Lions and Asante Kotoko. Always tends to get interesting because the rivalry is totally different. And I'm sure it has to do with that incident that happened in the early 2000s, where in the top 4 tournament, Asante Kotoko decided to boycott the game against Heart of Lions. Sadat Bukari scored, and I think something happened prior to Sadat Bukari scoring for Heart of Lions. Kotoko got furious and they decided not to continue with the game. Jerry Asare with the famous Yembobium slogan. And it is all part of the rivalry between Heart of Lions and Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Note that right after this game, the big one will take place at the Babanyara Sports Stadium. Kotoko versus Accra House of Folk, match week 22. At the moment, we are going to discuss or have a look at Heart of Lions versus Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Now, since Heart of Lions, a room with the Ghana Premier League, that is, they are returning to the Ghana Premier League. Kotoko and sharing that 5 matches now taking place since Heart of Lions, a free Division 1, a Bura Ghana Premier League. A base in Kotoko and sharing that the best for Kotoko has always been a draw. So matches between Heart of Lions and Kumasi Asante Kotoko, a very difficult. Kumasi Asante Kotoko, no matter how Kotoko good going into the game, how solid they've been, the number of wins they've recorded in a row, no, against Heart of Lions. So it's more of Heart of Lions about the boogie side, or the boogie side of Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Now going into this game, Heart of Lions, they've been very shambolic. They've been terrible in the Ghana Premier League because show my last 10 matches or my boy, they have only a win, a single win in their last 10 matches. So if you're a Kotoko fan, then of course this will certainly give you a breather, will give you a hope, will give you some level of confidence that this time round Kotoko, Ebeye, I'm a Heart of Lions. I quite remember under Dr. Prosper Natiogum, it ended in a stalemate. 1-1 was the scoreline. First leg of the 2025-2026 season, and also A&D in a draw. 0-0 was the scoreline. So going into this game, if you are a Kotoko fan, of course, 3-0 win over Baseke Holy Stars. Baseke and Kotoko Eshomo. Baseke so normal babeye boogie side for Asante Kotoko because now 3 games going into match week 25th channel. No money 1 win Kotoko with 1, the other match ending in a draw. And at this season, so no match Asante Kotoko by Kotoko Che Baseke at the net 20 level against Heart of Lions. Kotoko nya 3-0 win over Baseke Holy Stars. Or money Heart of Lions are or money share or moda since the Heart of Lions are returning to the Ghana Premier League. Saying in a game no ABC ebe kwakwaye. Now we share Kotoko. Coach Karim Zito, Enya, ne darling boy. His darling boy is back. And who is the darling boy of Coach Karim Zito? Albert Amwa. We also saw the goal Albert Amwa scored against Baseke Holy Stars, which was out of this world. Sensational goal by Albert Amwa, the likes of Kwame Poku, also getting their names on the score sheet. Of course, Samba Ntungani Oneo, Ononswababe instrumental, key figure for Kotoko with some 3 goals, 4 MVPs in the Ghana Premier League. Now, share Heart of Lions are 7th on the league table with 27 points, and for Asante Kotoko, also the 3rd with 35 points. So difference 8 points between Heart of Lions and Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Kotoko last 5 matches in the Ghana Premier League, they have 2 wins, 2 draws, 1 defeat. Heart of Lions could have just 1 win, Mukuta 3 defeats, and Mukuta 1 draw. So clearly, Heart of Lions were more air struggle, but Ensheda different from Asante Kotoko because Kotoko Ekuta 2 wins and Okuta 2 draws, Okuta 1 defeat. Heart of Lions Okuta defeats in a case 3, Okuta 1 win and Okuta 1 draw. Nti ye wins no ni defeat no. Ena ema yenya the difference between Lions and Kotoko, but clearly Kotoko ewo form sen Heart of Lions, but know that teams yi mienu omu hia enye de owo form. No, Heart of Lions oni form kra eya na omanema difficult ema Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Now last 10 matches between Asante Kotoko and Heart of Lions, Kotoko with 1 win, 3 matches ending in a draw, and Heart of Lions with 6 wins. Me catch them. The matches between Kotoko and Heart of Lions, no, na difficult. Makumasi Asante Kotoko, and numbers they say do not lie. Last 10 matches between Heart of Lions and Kotoko, 3 are indeed in a draw. Kotoko kuta just 1 win, and a Heart of Lions kuta 6 wins. Intino, we sums up how Asante Kotoko, how poor they've been whenever they face a Heart of Lions. Now, yenye comparisons kakra. On the bench for Kotoko will be Coach Karim Zito. On the bench for Heart of Lions will be former Asante Kotoko coach, Bashir Hayford. Anytime we be share Kotoko no, no pese will prove be bichire Kotoko for no, say probably a mistake and womo edi eja and kwan, and also he's still one of the best in the business. Now, Kotoko ashe 27 goals, Heart of Lions ashe 18. Kotoko are conceded 11, Heart of Lions are conceded 16. So defensively, Kotoko better than Heart of Lions. And when it comes to clean sheets, Kotoko kuta 13, Heart of Lions ekuta 10. And no any comparisons kakra between two teams, almost starts on my record in the 2025-2026 Ghana Premier League season. Now, yending komo kakra on Heart of Lions. For Heart of Lions, they started the season so well. I think the Heart of Lions or more performance need to take that nose dive at DP. Time where key players need to be boss Black Galaxies international friendly against South Africa. No? And no, Asians will be on the team. And also, share any squad depth sir. Inti any team wa ubitimi akọ bench one mo. Na wenya players from the bench are equally would you replace any player in the starting 11 and with me amount that closeness when it comes to performance. Omuni squad depth and also a issue because almost starting 11 no a very repetitive. Unshade who changes kesiye and season a long season to only squad depth affect your performance. But they still have quality in there. The likes of Ishmael Ado, H. Dogley is still around, Ruben Hennessy, centre back Emily Zaban, centre back Chauncey Freeman, and also Liberian. No? He's also around good old Kojo Obin Jr. and so Ewo Honomontino. You cannot really underrate them in as much as they've been struggling. They have only 1 win in their last 10 matches. But yes, still, they are 7th on the league table. So, oh, this time round, Kotoko beat me easy. And Kotoko against Heart of Lions, a difficult game. Emma Asante Kotoko. For Kotoko, they've been able to at least pick up the pieces after losing to a Swedru or Blacks. Kotoko form no, quite shaky kakra against Bilkum Chelsea na Kotoko about draw omo eko Bibiani. It was a game and Kotoko was almost winning, but Samba Ndungani O'Neil, surprisingly, his goal was chopped off. Emma Kotoko now quite disappointing. Returned to the Babanyana Sports Stadium. They recorded a win over Baseke Holy Star. So what I'm thinking is, in as much as tactically and technically, Kotoko a bit better than Heart of Lions. Technically, in terms of squad, in terms of key players are omobitimi amao that individual brilliance, moment of magic. I think Kotoko a step ahead of Heart of Lions. Squad depth, Kotoko a step ahead of Heart of Lions. But coaching, I'll give it to Heart of Lions. I think Bashir Hayford experienced enough, and one-off game against Kotoko, no, you cannot underrate Bashir Hayford. In as much as Kotoko quality, technically, all players are better than Heart of Lions. But one-off game, no, I'll still go in for Bashir Hayford. So when it comes to coaching, I'll give it to Bashir Hayford of Heart of Lions. But when it comes to player quality, I'll give it to Kumase Asante Kotoko. Now, Kotoko, they need to really make a statement if they want to win the Ghana Premier League. There are grounds you have to win matches. And it make a statement, it make a difference. I quite remember when Dr. Prosper Natogum won the Ghana Premier League for Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Oko Akon Park, Mediama, no akoje 3 points. Oko Adriana, no akoje 3 points. And Ayane make a statement. It means you mean business. You are ready for the occasion. You are ready to win the Ghana Premier League. And this season, matches go on Kotoko lose where, honestly speaking, so person the Ghana Premier League, you are not supposed to lose that matches. No? You are not supposed to lose those matches. Against Hoho United, na Kotoko drop the points. So, matches bisa it was so winning. Against Wedru or Blast, na Kotoko drop the points. In such matches, you should be winning. Now, this is a difficult one because statistically, numbers in favor Kotoko. And in recent times, and so Lions, if free division one buy no, ABC ne Kotoko intimi and share no. It's a difficult one for Asante Kotoko. But a game after this game, Kotoko ne has enable. Menye sure, say Karim Zito will be a happy man. Kotoko fans will be happy. So going into Hasofo game no, na Kotoko LUC. Bechem United, Eshe Heart of Lions. And Lions says struggle. I think if there is any perfect time for Kotoko to defeat Heart of Lions, that time is now. On Saturday with Kpando Stadium. If there is any perfect time for Kotoko to defeat Heart of Lions, that time is now. Because Lions, they are struggling. So Kuta one win, I won the last 10 matches in one. Kotoko ought to make it count. And the big question is, can Kotoko finally end the voodoo? Or can Kotoko finally break this unnecessary record that exists between Omo and Heart of Lions? Can Kotoko finally record a win over Heart of Lions? I know Bebabe in recent times, say Kotoko team win over Heart of Lions. Can Kotoko do it? Can Kotoko do it? That is the big question. And if you are to push me to the wall, I think it will be a difficult one. Because of Bashir Hayford experience and because Lions need quality be there. But omo players been so a one-off match. See yenye tawe na yembo. Sa Ishmael Adono. Sa Obin Junior. Oncha Dantenenka, but big match ube huno. Ebenezer Aban. Robin Hennessy. A difficult game. But I think the worst performance for Kotoko should be a draw. Yeah, especially so money has neighbor next game. This is a game Karim Dito cannot afford to lose, and the worst performance should be a draw for Kotoko. Kotoko winia enyeme but their worst performance should be a draw. So Kotoko elusu game where I will be so surprised, and I think some hairs will roll. We'll be losing a job. Kumasi Asante Kotoko. So that is about it on Heart of Lions versus Kumasi Asante Kotoko. This Saturday exactly 3:30 p.m. Ewo the Kpando Sports Stadium. Let me hear from you in the comment section your take on this game and who should be leading the line for Asante Kotoko. Now, Morufin Donzo woho, Alberta Mwa woho, Kwame Puku nso ewo honomo. Strikers no Dawson Johnson upon enso wo hono mo hwan na yen starting no against Heart of Lions. Kwame Poku ni Donzo ana Kwame Poku ene Alberta Moa ana Alberta Moa nko engineer ni hono mo ema Asante Kotoko ana yenye no Albert ene Donzo ana Dogo Yakubu ene Alberta Moa. Let me hear from you in the comment section. Prediction so the credits kakra ebema winner I will be the prediction right when it comes to the scores of the game between Heart of Lions and Kumasi. Asante Kotoko. YDBC say do what to subscribe to CBN Media Sports Extra on YouTube for the very best of sporting content. Have a wonderful day.